This week on his radio show, Howard Stern defended wokeism, saying it's a compliment when someone calls you woke. Listen.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, well, dude, call me woke as you want. I'm not for stupidity, but I am woke, motherfucker, and I love it.
Oh dear, he swore. He swore that'll win over the woke. He's a regular Huey Newton of the Hamptons.
Well, I watch and know some of them, and like Howard, I was on Howard Stern's show as much as anybody, and he was great at that time, and then he went woke.
Yeah.
And since he's gone woke, his ratings have been...
Howard Stern didn't just sell out. He put his legacy on clearance. And guess who showed up? Greg Gutfeld with razor-sharp jokes and Donald Trump with fireworks and receipts. Once the unapologetic king of shock radio, Stern has now morphed into the tame butler of bland, serving up lukewarm takes where there used to be fire. Gutfeld jabs with punchlines, Trump barrels through with unfiltered glee. And together they turn Stern's fall from rebel to relic into a comedy roast for the ages. This isn't a comeback. It's a satire special, and Stern's the punchline.
Well, it's weird because he criticizes Trump for dividing the country, and then he says he hates his supporters, so he's not learning from his own analysis. I think he might have turned into the thing he hated. He needs to go back and watch the movie Private Parts and focus on how he portrayed Don Imus, because he's kind of turned into Don Imus in a way. It's a mix of ego and resentment.
Howard Stern, he's a weak guy. He's weak. He's going, what about, it was so ridiculous. Even she was embarrassed. It was like softball.
Howard Stern, the self-crowned king of all media, is now the king of all meltdowns. It's a surreal thing watching a guy who made a career hurling verbal Molotov cocktails at the establishment suddenly turn into a gated community gossip ant who clutches pearls at the very idea of independent thought. If irony were a currency, Howard would be printing money faster than the Fed during a pandemic. This is the man who once snarled at conformity and now moonwalks into every mainstream narrative like he's auditioning for a cameo in a CNN puff piece.
But that's how Stern can call snacking with celebs at a fancy restaurant exhausting. Like he finished the overnight shift in a coal mine, or hearing a cat talk about her pets.
Fair.
But I get it, life is tough, especially when you've been cut off from the world for 2 years in a $20 million beach house. I mean, you have no idea how tiring it is walking all the way from the wine cellar to the tennis court and back.
Greg Gutfeld didn't need a full monologue to take down the modern-day Howard Stern. Just a mirror. One glimpse of who he used to be versus what he's become says it all. This is an evolution. It's a full system reboot running on fear, hypocrisy, and a gallon of hand sanitizer. Then comes Trump, not with nuance, but with the verbal equivalent of a sledgehammer strapped to a bald eagle. When Trump talks about Stern now, it's not rage, it's pure disbelief. Like a rock star chuckling at a wedding DJ trying to play the hits. He's not mad. He's just stunned it came to this.
Stern hit a chic restaurant in NYC with a crew of A-listers, including Jimmy Kimmel, Jennifer Aniston, Jon Hamm, Justin Theroux, Jason Bateman. I was not invited. I guess because my first name doesn't begin with the letter J.
Greg Gutfeld treats Howard Stern's downfall like a stand-up bit, calling out the irony with the same flair comedians use to roast Hollywood's self-congratulating award shows. This was the rebel, he scoffs. The guy who once tore into celebrities for being out of touch is now clinking champagne glasses on the very yacht he used to ridicule. Stern didn't just join the club, he's fetching towels for it. The man who once dragged egos through the mud now polishes them poolside. Today's Stern isn't edgy, he's scared. Tiptoeing through his takes like the cancel mob is camped outside his mansion with hashtags and pitchforks.
I knew him very well. I was on the show many times. I used to think he was good. Then I dropped him, and I dropped him like a dog. And his ratings are very challenged Very challenged.
Which, to be fair, might not be wrong. The mob is out there. But the Howard Stern of old wouldn't have cared. That guy would have grabbed the mic and dared them to cancel him. This new version? He's out here pre-apologizing for jokes he hasn't even told yet. It's not growth, it's regression. The PR version of Benjamin Button. Trump, meanwhile, watches Stern's descent with the same amused contempt a lion might have for a declawed house cat trying to roar. He doesn't need to say much. Just existing in the same news cycle sends Stern into another scripted, sanitized meltdown. Howard's so terrified of offending anyone, he probably won't even toast bread without clearing it with the gluten-free alliance first. And then there's Gutfeld, smirking like 10 smug Ivy League professors rolled into one, with the timing of a barstool philosopher. He doesn't just roast Stern for being fake, he nails him for being boring. And in media, that's the unforgivable sin. At least liars are unpredictable. Stern? He's just a rerun of his own caution tape. But it's almost sad watching a man who once bulldozed boundaries now tiptoe around imaginary lines. The guy who gave the FCC ulcers is now basically their hall monitor. He didn't just sell out. He knitted a cardigan for the rules and brought them cocoa.
Vote that wall over there.
Well, he's half right. We do need a wall. To keep out gang members, fentanyl dealers, human traffickers, and Anna Navarro. What's funny, though, is that Stern actually thought that was a compliment. Stern has become such a wussified sycophant, he doesn't realize that telling Kamala that he'd vote for a wall is telling her that he knows she's as dumb as one.
With his trademark smirk, Greg Gutfeld quips that Howard Stern's mic should come with a seatbelt and a corporate apology handbook. Every broadcast now feels like it's been scrubbed clean by a team of HR consultants. And the interviews? Once raw, unfiltered, and electric. Now so sanitized, you'd think he was interviewing bacteria in a sterile lab. Meanwhile, Trump lobs shade effortlessly from wherever he is, barely breaking his stride. To him, Howard's just another washed-up media relic clinging to relevance by cozying up to the very elites he used to torch. Trump doesn't even need to go for the jugular. Just pointing out Stern's new BFFs is enough to trigger laughter, because let's be honest, Stern once made a career mocking these exact people. Now, he's gone from Roastmaster to the Roach Motel for Hollywood's most recycled talking points. He used to bite hands. Now he's polishing boots, not even high-end, name-brand boots. Just the clearance rack variety, stamped with a seal of elite approval.
Yeah, I find that his definition of wokeism is very simplistic. I mean, it's like, it's not about COVID jabs.
I didn't get that either. He was like, I love the vaccine. I'm woke.
It's not unlike Howard Stern. I mean, talk about a transition. On Tuesday, he conducted an interview with Kamala Harris that was so simpering and feminine, I got my period while listening to it.
The irony is almost painful. Howard Stern still thinks he's the rebel. He clings to the fantasy that saying, I used to be wild, somehow earns him street cred. It's like a guy in a leather jacket at a retirement home, rambling through war stories nobody asked for. Meanwhile, Greg Gutfeld is carving him up with precision, scalpel in one hand, punchline in the other. No need to exaggerate. Stern basically writes his own parody now. The man who once ruled and censored radio now filters every thought through a PR committee before it hits the airwaves. It's like watching a punk rock band reunite to play elevator music. Same faces, sure, but the fire's long gone. Trump? He's not threatened. He's entertained. Stern's desperate attempt to stay relevant doesn't worry him. It amuses him. Trump could sneeze and stir up more controversy than a month of Howard's carefully edited monologues. And the ratings? Let's not even go there. Stern's numbers used to make TV execs salivate. Now they're buried somewhere in a PowerPoint slide everyone skips. The truth is, the audience didn't vanish. They just grew up and realized the rebel they loved had traded them in for a celebrity-approved Yelp review. Stern didn't lose his following. He walked away from them, hoping Hollywood would clap louder.